Hello, everybody. I hope you are having a nice the conference today. Yeah, that's nice. It's many of you can hear me. I know there have been some technical problems, but my microphone keeps switching off, so hopefully it will be okay. Yeah. Okay, we are going to talk about teenagers in this last session of today's online conference. Before we start, I'd like to inform you that again, at the end of the session, there will be a short quiz for you again, and 2 of you will be able to win something small but nice. And at the very end, again, there will be some time for you to ask for a free copy of a book. It will be the same book, The Wider Word, that my colleague had a product presentation about. So for those who haven't asked for the copy yet, then there will still be some time, or there will be still be opportunity to ask for it. So if you are interested, please stay till the end with us and we will publish the poll again. Okay, so it's teenagers. You are teachers of teenagers, I suppose, or many of you are teachers of teenagers. And if you look at the name of my presentation, there is a sentence, if being a teenager is hard, teaching them is harder. This is not in a format of a question, but still there is a question mark. And this is because I'm not sure what's harder, being a teenager or teaching them. So as you are teachers of teenagers, maybe you can help me to decide. If you go to polls, then I published a poll. Hopefully you will be able to see it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so if you go to the poll section again, please tell me what your opinion, what your experience, depending on what students you teach is. If being a teenager is harder, teaching them is harder, true or not? So for some of you, it is true. I can see, yeah. Some of you disagree, right? Okay, but still there is a majority of those who think that teaching teenagers is harder. Okay, yeah, right. Okay, yeah, thank you. Thank you for your opinion. So who are teenagers? How would you describe teenagers? If I say a teenager, the first thing that comes into your mind, who are they? Young, okay, they are young people, definitely. Okay. Yeah, okay. They roll their eyes very often, cheerful. Okay. Okay, anyone from the age of 13 to 19, puberty, crazy, yeah, okay. Bored, okay. Right, okay. So, who are they? Are they moody, lazy, and selfish young people who just want to sleep and play computer games and surf the internet? Well, the image of a lazy teenager has become so commonplace that many people simply assume that being lazy and unmotivated is a natural consequence of adolescence. However, once upon a time, teenagers were some of the most hardworking members of society. Long before shopping malls, computer games, and social media sites, teenagers were expected to work with adults, and they did. They worked hard. They worked hard learning the trade and keeping the house, learning to cook and so on. And they did it because what they were doing had a point, and it matched their natural desire to be treated as adults. They did work hard and they were motivated to do so. A lot has changed, you might say, and you are right, a lot has changed. But it's the context in which teenagers grow up and the significance of what they are expected to do. The teenagers themselves are the same. As long as they feel that things that they are doing make sense and are important, they are enthusiastic and motivated. I think that the word motivation is really the key word when talking about teenagers. And if we want our teenagers to be collaborating and hardworking, motivated students, I think that we should keep in mind 4 elements of motivation. The 4 elements of motivation are its relevance. It means that students can see what they are learning in their classroom is valuable to their lives, to their hopes, to their dreams. It's important that topics are interesting, but also that the topics reflect on what's going on. The second one is relatedness. Relatedness is about the relationships in the classroom, and these are student-student relationships, but also student-teacher relationships. So positive relationship is really important. Students should respect each other, and students should respect their teachers as well. Experts say that it's really important that a teacher says each student's name at least once during the class session, so that students can see that they are really individuals, and that teachers can see them as individuals. Another one is competence. Students are more likely to do something in a classroom if they feel they will be successful. It's important for the students to see their progress. And it could be in a way of grades, or you can try, for example, at the beginning of a unit, give your students a list of vocabulary and ask them to complete as many words as they can. Then collect the sheets, and at the end of the unit, which is, I don't know, 1 week later or maybe 2 weeks later, give students the same sheets to see how much they've learned. So really make learning visible. And the 4th element here is autonomy. Autonomy means that students feel they have a choice of what they do and how they do it. And what choice am I talking about? It could be, for example, that students can choose where they want to sit or who they want to work with. But also they can choose what they want for homework, or maybe the ways of their final project. Do they prefer an essay, or would they like to prepare and present a presentation? I've got an example of a reading activity, and I would like to demonstrate what I mean by the choice. So this is a typical reading activity. You would ask your students to read the text, and now you can really give them the choice. So, for example, they can choose task A, task B, or task C. Task A is read the text and write the answers. Or task B, read the text and write the questions. And task C, write the questions and answers. Probably, maybe some of you think my students will not choose task C, but maybe if you give them the choice, you will be surprised by how many of them will choose task C. Okay, so teenagers are really going through a difficult period of time, and they can present a real challenge for their teachers, parents, of course, too. And it's because of the brain changes. There are really huge changes in their brains, and the changes happen in the parts of the brain that are responsible for emotions, organizations, decision making, judgment, and all these important things. At the same time, they are coping with the parental expectations and maybe the exams that they need to do. So really, it's difficult for them. I know it's difficult for teachers and parents as well. But now the question is, how can we make it more pleasant, more enjoyable for the students and for the teachers as well? So based on the 4 elements of motivation, I prepared some tips for you. And my tips are build rapport, make things personal, use variety and choice, and make it interesting and fun. So building rapport is essential. This is about the atmosphere, about the relationships that I've already spoken about. If you have a positive relationship with your students, things will be easier for you. If you don't, then probably students will complain about everything and anything that you suggest. You can engage the first minutes of your classes in informal conversations. Ask your students how they feel, what they did the day before, or did they do anything interesting at the weekend, and like show your interest in your students. Of course, try to remember some of the information so that you can get back to it later. Or you can ask your students, what do you see when you walk to school? Where do you go? Who do you usually go with? Did you try to encourage them to speak about details, to dig a little bit deeper below the surface? Was there anything unusual on the way to school today, or what were you talking about with your friends on your way to school? And I'm sure that they will come up with really interesting things. Yeah, I know 5 minutes is not enough for them, but if you get them talking, well, sometimes you can spend more than 5 minutes. And make things personal, because students generally, and it's not only about teenagers, but generally students need and they like talking about what they know, what they see, and what they do in their lives. You can personalize exercises. If you have an exercise like this, for example, this is about housework and about what people in a family do, then you can, of course, complete the sentences, practice these expressions, and then ask your students, and what about you? What do you do at home? What does your mom or what does your sister do at home? Sometimes teachers complain that there aren't enough speaking exercises in their textbooks, but you can change almost any exercise into a speaking exercise by this "and what about you" question. So really, let your students express their opinions, use the personalizations, extend exercises if possible. Right, my second tip is use variety and choice. There is a fact about teenagers, and it is that teenagers get bored easily. I don't know if it is your experience as well, but teenagers have a tendency to get bored easily. So use variety as your ally. You can vary topics and tasks or types of tasks, types of activities. You can change the order of things in which you normally do them and come with something unexpected to break down your classroom routine. If you have the possibility of changing where you can have your class, do so. A classroom, a garden, a library, even the street, anywhere is good for a lesson. I mentioned the street, so my colleague spoke about Vox Pop videos. Why don't you try Vox Pop videos? Do you remember Vox Pop videos? They are like short videos. Yeah, okay. They are short videos recorded on the streets where people are asked questions and they answer the questions. So Vox Pop videos are really great. They are authentic, spontaneous speech. Students are exposed to real language uttered by speakers of English. These speakers are not necessarily native speakers of English only. So in these videos, students see a lot of inaccuracies, also mistakes. And it's good to inform and prepare your students for this and really encourage them not to listen for details, but for the general information. So it is a Vox Pop video. I'm going to show you a Vox Pop video. Each Vox Pop video has a question. The question here is, what are the rules for the kids you look after? You can use this as a follow-up activity after covering can, do, and must for permission and obligation. And before watching, you can ask your students to predict what rules they expect to hear. In the video you are going to see in a minute, there will be 4 people, 2 au pairs, a father, and an older sister. So can you suggest what rules the au pairs will be talking about? Any ideas? No tablet, no TV rule, okay. Rules about tidying up, okay. Right. Do you think that the au pairs will mention different rules from the father or the sister? What about the father? Will he be strict? So the father, no, he won't be strict. Yes, he will. So any rules? Any suggestions? Or the rules we'll hear? Yes, about obedience. Yes, about no arguing rule. Okay, politeness. Okay, and now the older sister. The older sister. No, sweet behaving. Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So definitely we can expect all these rules. So let's have a look. I will prepare the video for you. Just a second. Okay, here it goes. Right.
What are the rules for the kids you look after?
We're both working as au pairs and I have to look after 2 children. They must be in bed by 7:45. When I cook, I always have to cook some vegetables and some meat, so they have proteins and something healthy for them. And sometimes they're allowed to have pudding afterwards, so then they can eat a biscuit or something like that.
I look after 4 children. They are 7, 5 and 2.5. They are twins. And some rules are, for example, they have to say please and thank you. And they have to go to bed at 7 o'clock.
I'm not a strict parent. I do set some rules. My daughter has to go to bed anywhere between 6 and 9 o'clock.
I have a 10-year-old younger sister But I do have some rules. I say that she mustn't sharpen pencils in my room because I don't like pencil sharpenings. And I tell her that she has to keep her paper tidy, like in folders. She has to put her books away. Yeah, I don't like mess.
Okay, so that was a Vox Pop video. You could hear the background noises, yes, and that's always a part of it. Okay, so the au pairs, which rules did they talk about? Were you right? Were your guesses right? Going to bed, yes, about bedtime. Okay, yeah. Right, eating habits, yeah, okay. Right, okay. The father, was the father strict? No, he wasn't, okay. And the rule he spoke about? What was the rule that the father spoke about? Okay, so now okay. And the older sister? Okay, so I can't really see what you are writing now because it seems that it got frozen, but hopefully I will be able to see it very soon. Okay. All right, yeah. So that was about Vox Pop video. So of course you can talk about rules that your students have at home. Of course your students can make their own video, and could be in the school, or it can be in the streets, or it can be it can be the choice that you will give them. Would you like to make a Vox Pop video? Yeah. Okay, right. So another fact about teenagers is that they are competitive. Are they? They like competitions, yeah? And most teens will get involved in almost any task if there is the competition element involved. I've got a tip for a competition. I hope, yeah. So here it is, yeah. So you can see some very useful everyday expressions. By the way, they were taken from the Wider Word book again and again. I would like to tell you that you will be able to ask for a copy of this book at the end of this session. So these are out of class expressions taken from reading parts or listening text. Very useful expressions that native speakers use in their everyday conversations. However, for our students, they might be a little bit difficult to remember as they don't have so many opportunities to use them. So maybe you can try to help them remember by playing rock, scissors, paper. Rock, scissors, paper. I'm sure that you know rock, scissors, paper. So here I would recommend that you prepare cards with these English expressions and then Czech or Slovak translations, because really I think that in this case the translation will help your students understand and remember these expressions. And then if you have these cards, you give each student, let's say, 5 cards, and it will be a mix of English and then Czech or Slovak expressions. And then they go walk around the classroom and they try to find a match. So it means that if they have an English expression, they need to find the Czech translation and vice versa. And once they find somebody with the other half, they need the second half, because if they have both halves, they get a point. So how do they do it? They rock, scissors, paper. The one who wins gets the other half and has a point. Okay, here I need to warn you that this activity has a tendency to become a little bit wild. So it's really important to set some rules, and the basic rule is no shouting rule. Once somebody starts shouting, he or she needs to sit down and sits until the activity is over. Well, now students have these cards, they have these expressions in English and Czech. So how can we extend this further? How can we use the expressions further? Any ideas? What else would you do with these expressions now? Make conversations, right? Yeah, okay. Ask students to write a dialogue using these expressions, or they can prepare a story that would be a little bit more time consuming, but yeah, okay. Use the phrases as starts of conversations. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, okay. This is what I wanted to suggest, that you can, for example, before the lesson, you can prepare some sentences or situations, and your students will have to respond. So for example, if you let's say we have these expressions that you can see on the screen, and if I say I've got an important exam tomorrow, what response might you use? I've got an important exam tomorrow. Fingers crossed. Yeah, perfect. Okay, good. Or I've won in the lottery. I've won in the lottery. Congrats, yeah, hooray! But we don't have these here. You have to choose from the expressions. You can see, I don't believe it. Yes, I don't believe it. That's right. Yes. Okay. All right. Yeah. Or your students can prepare similar sentences for their schoolmates. Yeah, to play. Yeah. Right. Good. Teaching teenagers might be difficult because very often they don't want to speak. They are shy, they are worried about mistakes or peer criticism, but they need to speak. So what you could do, you could have constant pair work or group work, because really they need to practice what they are learning or what they have learned to build confidence in speaking. Maybe some speaking games can help. So again, I've got some suggestions of speaking game. The first one, the last man standing, it's not a speaking game as such. It's I would recommend it for a warm up rather. Do you know the last man standing? So I think this is a nice warm up which helps students switch from Czech into English. All students have to stand up and you choose a topic, for example, colors. And now each student one by one needs to say a word which is related to the topic. Yeah, so for example, if I say colors, of course, this is for low levels, then the first student says white, and then the other students red, and so on. Once a student repeats what has been said, or he or she doesn't know, then he or she sits down. And you can continue, but with a new, different topic. Yeah. So of course, it depends on the level of your students, how difficult the topics will be. The topic could be something hot, something cold, feelings, food, anything. And the last student who remains standing is the winner. If you have students who who are really good at English and it wouldn't be a problem, then you can make it more challenging for them. For example, you say, now I want feelings, but they need to start with letter S, and then it should be quite quick and challenging for these students. Right. Another one is a speaking. Another speaking game is a circle story. Circle story. It means that students work in groups of 4 or 5. It depends on the number of students you have, and each student gets a card with with a word on it. And you could choose which words you want your students to practice. I chose phrasal verbs because I think phrasal verbs are also quite difficult for students to remember. So students have cards with a word on it and ask them to start telling a story. And students start telling a story. It can be any topic, or you can tell them what topic you want. It could be based on a reading text that you did, or anything that you are doing. And the student continues telling the story until he or she can incorporate his or her word from the card into the story. And then it is the next student's turn. Here, you don't want students to say just one sentence, to use to use the word immediately. No, if they need more or longer introduction before they incorporate the word, no problem, because we want them to speak. So this is the circle story. Or another one is guess my instructions game. In this game, this one that I'm going to explain, it's for groups of 4 students. Each student in the group gets a card with instructions. There is a topic and instructions. The topic is the same for all 4 students, but each student in the group has a different instruction. The instructions here are about non-verbal communication, and it looks like this. You can see that there are 4 conversations, but they will start with conversation 1. We can see that the topic in conversation 1 is school. Topic is the same for all 4 students, but the instructions are different. So, for example, if you look at student A, then it says, start a conversation about school. Several times during the conversation, while others are talking, shrug your shoulders. While student B has, join in student A conversation about school. While student A is talking, look someone in the eye. Yeah, and you can set a time limit of 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, and after that you can ask students if they guessed the instructions other students in the group have. And it might, I think it might be quite funny with the students. If you are not doing non-verbal communication, you can, for example, practice phrasal verbs. Yeah, so talk about schools and several times during the conversation use fed up. Or you can practice the useful expressions, the out of class expression, but you can say, so the instruction is talk about school or speak about school and say you are kidding right several times. Or you can even use it to practice grammar structures, for example, always and present continuous tense. Yeah, and make sure that they understand the instruction fast. Yeah, but this is, you know, these are follow-up activities. After you cover a certain topic, after you cover certain vocabulary, then you can do this activity. The worksheet for the whole group looks like this. So really we have 4 students and each student has the same topic but different different instruction. Okay, so I spoke about the brain changes in teenagers earlier, and one fact that the study showed is that teenagers are tired, are more tired, or they get tired easily. They are more sleepy, they need more sleep. Ideally, it would be like 10 hours a day, which is not possible because school starts at 8 o'clock. So maybe we can't do much about it, but still we can. If you have a test and you have the possibility, don't give your students the test first thing in the morning. Of course, if you have the possibility, because students won't do as well as at 8:30 as they will at 11:30 when they are fully up. Yeah, so this is the first thing. And the second thing is that if your students are tired, they lose concentration, they stop paying attention, they are sleepy and lazy. So when you see that this is happening, then you can prepare something funny for your students. For example, you can use blooper videos, or there's an activity where students can use their imagination or brain teasers. So we are going to start with a blooper video. Any idea what a blooper video is? Have you ever seen a blooper video, or do you know what a blooper video is? Okay, right, yeah. So, a blooper video is a short clip from a TV live broadcasting in which something goes wrong, and very often it's with comical consequences. So it is live broadcasting with comical consequences because something goes wrong. And I'm going to show you a video. It's a clip from a Canadian TV weather report, and something funny happened. First, before I show you the video, I will give you some tips how you can work with videos. It not only blooper videos, but videos generally. So, for example, you can prepare some story items which are related to what's going on in the video. There could be 3 points or 4 of the items, or even more. So here, the items for the video you are going to see in a minute are a woman at work, a weather cam overlooking Vancouver Harbor, panic, live broadcasting. And now it's time for students to try to predict what they are going to see. All right, so any guesses? From these story items, could you predict, could you guess what you might see in the video? Panic, yeah, definitely. Okay, all 4 items will be in the video, yeah. So tsunami, okay. Okay, wrong temperatures, tornado, right? Okay, she says something funny, and then she panics. Okay, all right, yeah. So this is one possibility. Another possibility is that you can prepare a story. Again, the story is about the video. So our story is, it's a clip from a Canadian weather report. The meteorologist is called Christy, and she's standing in front of the screen, speaking to the camera, speaking to us, the viewers. On the screen, we can see live images coming into the studio from a weather cam overlooking Vancouver Harbor. It's a cloudy, overcast day. Suddenly, something happens which causes Christy to freak out. She screams and runs away. The other people in the studio seem to think that this is funny. Can you guess what causes Christy to freak out? So, can you guess what causes Christy to freak out? Some animal, a wasp, a snake, right? Mouse, okay, or animal. So all of you think, or most of you think, it might be about animals. Okay. Yeah, spider, wave, bird. Okay, right. Okay, so would you like to see the video? So I'm going to play it for you if I manage this. Hopefully I will. Just a second, please. And it's the weather forecast video.
It will be a gradual drying trend for them. Still today, though, significant rainfall on the way. And for our area, so let's, oh my gosh, that was creepy. Oh, of course he had to be right on my head. Oh, I just don't like that. Okay, I gotta move it.
Come on.
No, I hate it. I can't stand it.
You realize it's not there.
Christy, it's not in the room. It's okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Seriously?
I am so sorry. Okay, I gotta keep going here.
You okay?
Yes. You know what? It just really creeps me out.
I'll say. Wow. You want me to take over?
You want us to work on this?
No, it's okay. Sorry. Okay.
All right. All right, so hopefully my microphone is on. Yes, it should be. Okay, so that was an animal, you were right. And those who thought it would be a spider, it was a spider. Yeah, okay, right. All right, and now after watching the video, you can prepare an observation test for your students. I will show you an example of an observation test for this video. There will be, I think, 7 statements. 5 of them are objective, so you can clearly say yes or no. And 2 of them will be subjective. It means it should open discussion, and it depends on what people think and what their opinion is. So, do you agree or disagree? The spider first appeared at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. Yes or no? No, okay. That's false, that's right. According to the weather forecast, Vancouver would have sunny breaks later that day. So now I can't see your answers again. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, a lot of people going for yes, and that's true. Okay, the spider was not actually inside the studio. True or false? Okay, Alexandra says no. Okay, there. Yes, yes. Some of you say yes, some of you say no. Okay, and the right answer is that's true. Well, the spider was not actually inside the studio. Yeah, it was outside on the web camera. Okay, someone was playing a trick on Christine. True or not? Well, it's false, of course. Yeah, that was no one like put the spider on the weather camera. I just decided to be there. Okay, and Christy was wearing a white skirt. True or false? And this is true, yes, okay. Right, she was. Right, sorry. Okay. Okay, and now we have 2 statements which can open discussion. Christy's reaction was unnecessary and unprofessional. Some people would agree, some people would disagree. Christy's colleagues were unkind and unsympathetic to her. Again, students can have different opinions, and you can ask them to explain their opinions and why they think so. Yeah. Okay, so that was a blooper video. And from here, you can go on and talk about your students' fears, students' phobias, or you can ask them, have you ever freaked out like as Christy, or were there people when it happened? What happened? Could you talk about it? If your students would like, you can ask them to go on YouTube, let's say, and find another blooper video and prepare it in a similar way. It means prepare a text and then show it to the others in the classroom. No, it wasn't on the purpose. The spider was just living on the camera. It wasn't a joke. No. It was real, yeah. It was real. It really happened. It was live TV broadcasting. Yeah. Okay, so that's it for blooper videos. Another tip or suggestion: if your students are losing concentration, you can you can start this drawing activity. Drawing activity in which they will have to use their imagination. Here, your students will need a piece of paper and colored pencils. You will divide them into groups, and here I think that the bigger groups, the better. So I would say like minimum 5 people, but 6, 7, 8 people are fine. And you will play some music for 20 or 30 seconds. And while you are playing the music, your students will be drawing. And now there are again more possibilities. You can tell your students, now draw anything that comes into your mind, or you can give them a topic. And I think that if you give them a topic, the pictures will not be very abstract. So probably it will be better for the follow-up activities. And the topics can be summer, sports, or what you did on Sunday or what you did at the weekend. So it can be anything, yeah? So the music is playing, the students are drawing. Now after 20 or 30 minutes, seconds, of course, stop the music and students pass their paper to a partner. Then you play some music again and students continue with their partner's drawing. Yeah, so they started a picture, but when the music stops, they pass the picture to their partner and they start drawing with their partner's picture. And now you repeat it several times. It can be till the end of the song, or it's up to you. And in the end, each student has a picture that several students have contributed to. They need the music to set the time limit, and also you can experiment with the music. Different music can bring different ideas, and so you can have just one song, or you can have different types of music during this one activity. But the music really, it's part of it. Okay, so now students have these pictures, and what can they do with them? So, a story. They can make a story. Okay, definitely. They can describe the picture. Yes. Okay. Right. They can retell a story. Okay. Yeah. It can make dialogues. Yeah. Okay. Each student has one piece of paper. Yeah. So they draw, pass it, and they get different students painting. They describe the picture, yes, ask, yeah, or talk about details. Okay, all right. So again, it depends on the level of your students. If they are low-level students, they can only label everything in the picture, or they can describe the picture to the group or to a partner. Or you can tell them, this is the dream you had last night. Explain the dream, yeah, or describe the dream. And maybe the rest of the group can be like psychologists analyzing the dream. Or you can say, this is a postcard. Write a postcard to your family or to your friends. Or you can say it's a photo taken at 5 p.m. yesterday. So what was happening? Describe this. Yeah. And here, this way you can practice past continuous tense. Yeah. Okay. Or of course, there are other possibilities how to work with the pictures. Yeah. Or they can compare their ideas. Yeah. Okay. All right. And now we are going to brain teasers. Brain teasers are perfect if you can see that your students' attention is going down. They are a great way to break up the day and engage your students as well as boost their energy. A study on the attention span found that children who were given brain teasers were more attentive than those who received only a regular school curriculum. Brain teasers can strengthen problem solving and critical thinking skills. They inspire teamwork and communication. They engage students and motivate them to learn, but also they provide necessary breaks from traditional classwork. It's important to remember that brain teasers are designed to be fun. So it's not about finding the right answer, but it's about the mental exercise students get from trying to find the solution. There are different types of brain teasers. There could be visual brain teasers like this one. Here, you should say the color of each word, but don't read the words. How fast can you say it? So students can work in pairs or in groups. And it looks easy, but it's not that easy. Maybe I will give you a few seconds to try for yourselves. So the first one would be, so we need to say the color of each word. So this is red, black, green. Yes, okay, so really it's not that easy. By the way, there is one word which is written in the correct color. Which one is it? No, green. Yes, okay, Blanca, it's green. Yes, it's line 5. The last word in this is green, and it is green. Yes. Okay, so these are visual brain teasers. Then there are math brain teasers, like this one. A farmer has 19, and black as well. Yes, you are right. Black as well. Oh, so there are more of them. On red, okay. See, I didn't even notice this. Okay, right. Black 2, red 2. Yes, you were right. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to a math brain teaser. A farmer has 19 sheep on his land. One day, a big storm hits, and all but 7 run away. How many sheep does the farmer have? Okay, so Jitka says 7. Alice 7. Yes. Okay, 7. All right. Yes. So that. Okay, right. Or language puzzle, or language riddle. What has a mouse but cannot eat, moves but has no legs, and has a bank but cannot put money in it? Okay, Matela knows. Yeah, Zuzana knows. Okay, right. Yeah. Well, this is a really language puzzle because it's not possible to translate it into other languages. It makes sense only in English, and the answer is that it is a river. Yeah. Okay. Or you can give your students a little bit longer puzzles. And here they could ask yes or no questions to get the solution. 2 girls were tidying the garden shed. When they finished, one of them had a dirty face. The other girl's face was clean. However, the girl with the clean face went and washed her face. The girl with the dirty face didn't wash her face. Why? Okay, because we are running out of time. I am not going to ask you to give me yes or no questions. I will tell you the solution. But if your students don't know, then you can give them a hint. For example, did they look into the mirror? No, they didn't. They didn't have a mirror, but the girl with the clean face saw the girl with the dirty face, and she thought, oh, my face is dirty too. So she went and washed it. And the girl with the dirty face looked at the girl with the clean face, and she thought, oh, my face is clean too. And so she didn't go. Yeah, okay, they looked at their faces. Yeah, okay. Okay, so we are at the end, almost at the end of the session, and I promised a quiz, or sort of a quiz, where two of you can win something, and you can see the prize here on the screen. 2 people will win 2 packets of fun cards. And the fun cards will be about articles and past simple tense. So are you ready? The first question, it is the observation question for you. How attentive were you? Where are the 2 au pairs from the Vox Pop video from? Austria, Germany. That was Lucia. Yes, okay, Lucia. Now my chat disappeared. Yeah, but I could see Lucia. Okay, where am I now? Yes. Okay, sorry for this. Yeah, this is the first. Okay, it was Lucia. I'm not sure about the surname, but we will find it in the chat and we will let you know. So congratulations, Lucia. Right, and the second, still, yeah, Lucia Hrebčíková, I think. No. Okay, so really, that was so quick. I couldn't follow. So, but we will sort this out. Don't worry, and we will let you know. And still, there is Lucia Mojžišová. Yes, Lucia Mojžišová. Now my colleague helped me. Thank you very much, Vojto. So Lucia Mojžišová, congratulations. Yeah. All right, and the second one. So still, there's a chance of winning the 2 packets of fun cards. And this is a riddle. Billy's mother had 5 children. The first was named Lala, the second was named Lele, the third was named Lily, the fourth was named Lolo. What was the 5th child named? And I think it was Millie who got it right, because yes, it is Billy's mother who had the children. So the 5th child must be Billy. So so again, I think Vojta will help me with the name of the person who won this one. Yeah, so congratulations. All right. Okay, so you will get an email with a link, and the presentation will be available for you, so you can also check the references. But as I've already mentioned, most of the activities were taken from the Wider World book. Maybe a lot of you, or most of you, saw the product presentation by my colleague Judita. So this is exactly the book Judita was talking about. You can see contacts. If you are interested in the book or information about books for schools, primary, secondary schools, then you can contact me, or you can contact my colleague in the Slovak Republic. So you can see our email addresses. Yeah, now if you haven't asked for a free copy of the Wider World book, now this is the right time. If you go to polls, then you can ask for the book. Yeah, right. So just choose. Yeah. Okay. Well, we will let the winners know. I'm sorry, but really it was too quick and I couldn't like follow. But we will let the winners know, and we will send the prizes to you. Thank you very much for your attention. That was really nice having all of you here. I hope you enjoyed the day, and I hope I will see you some other time, or tomorrow, or at the beginning of April, or when the situation gets better, then we will meet personally at schools or conferences. Thank you very much. Have a nice day and be safe and healthy, all of you.